Meanwhile, National Police Commissioner Fannie Masemola says Thabo Bester and his alleged lover, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, are likely to be brought back to South Africa on Friday. He spent the afternoon listening to members of parliament who grilled G4S officials on how Bester managed to escape from prison. Athi Mtongana spoke to the commissioner.
Let's begin by just the role of SAPS given the summary and the timelines that were provided today by G4S before the committee.
Well, with regard to what G4S have said, they have their story, but we also have our version of story, and which unfortunately as subs won't be able to elaborate on all the facts as they said, blow by blow, because a lot of this evidence we still have to present to court. For example, the one area where we differ is the issue around the time when they notified us about the fire. They pinpoint a specific time, but we have a different time to what they are saying. So there will be those disparities, but as I said, more will actually reserve to take to court. Will be able to prove everything there at court.
Authorities involved in this entire debacle have been accused of dragging their feet, of having known well in advance, and that there's something that could have been done prior to the expose by ground up. How do you respond to that?
As SAPS, we have been seized with the investigation of this matter right from the word go. And from when it happened, we have been doing the investigation. Of course, allegations were that it was Thabo Bester who committed suicide. But from that time, we kept on doing investigation. It is us who went to G4S and seek clarity on certain matters, even though we couldn't get some of the information. And we went on to investigate. We went on to fight for bodies that would have been buried or cremated, like the same body of which is alleged to be that of Bester. If it wasn't us...
Where is it now?
It's at a government mortuary. We went to court with the alleged doctor, and we fought it at court. We won it, and we took the body back to the government mortuary. So those things, they happen all after the incident have happened. So if we were dragging our feet, we would not have done that. We have done the DNA test, which came out to be negative, but besides that, we couldn't just only rely on one form of evidence. We went further to do interrogations and get statements from families of the alleged Thabo Bester. So we have been doing quite a lot of work all along.
Has it been difficult to get the cooperation of G4S?
At the beginning, yes, it was difficult. It wasn't as easy. It wasn't difficult. It was difficult in the sense that our officials did report that they are finding it difficult to get cooperation in terms of accessing certain information. But after the intervention of the provincial commissioner with the management of G4S, it went better.
What do you say to South Africans who now lack confidence in not only the South African police, but the Department of Correctional Services, security companies like G4S, that view this as an utter embarrassment for South Africa?
Look, the fact that Thabo Bester was in prison, he didn't just find himself there by luck, or he dreamt to find himself there. There are cases that as South African Police Service we investigated and we took it to court, us and the NPA, the prosecution. We put our case before various judges, and he ended up being sentenced for over 50 years or life imprisonment. That was the work of us. And again, when he escaped, everybody was adamant that it is him who committed suicide. Yes, we approached the scene, obviously, right at the beginning as a suicide. But certain signs thereafter indicated to us that this is not a normal suicide. And of course, one of our young men in Free State was able to pinpoint that there is a problem here of claiming bodies. And We followed up, we investigated those bodies, and that's why we were able to intercept the body that was already given over by other authorities to the alleged doctor for funeral, and that funeral was imminent because it was supposed to be the next day, a cremation, but we were able to stop it. She went to court, we fought it at court, we won it, we took the body back to the morgue, and we kept on investigating. That's why when we end up adding more charges. So we did our best. The investigation is quite very complex. We might started with, yes, I agree, we started with a small team, but later, because we have seen the magnitude of the work, we increased the team and make it bigger, both in Gauteng and Free State.
Commissioner, before I let you go, where is Thabo Bester and those around him that have been arrested? When are they getting to South Africa? We believe that they are still in Tanzania or in transit. Would you be able to tell us that status?
Well, they are still in Tanzania. Our integrated team of all these departments is there. They are busy with looking at both the country's legislation as to how we should get them here. Indications, they say maybe Friday. I can't guarantee you it will be Friday, but they say maybe Friday.
What kind of technicalities or issues are they looking at between Tanzania and South Africa to be able to bring them here? Because I'm afraid this is something that a lot of South Africans are worried about, given the issue with the Guptas. I know it's a separate matter, but when they found out here in South Africa that the extradition treaty, there was a technicality there which wouldn't allow the UAE to bring them here. So I think it would be remiss of me not to ask then, in those negotiations between South Africa and Tanzania, do you believe that they will get them to South Africa?
I am convinced that they will be able to get them to South Africa. It's a matter of looking at the legislation of both countries, South Africa and Tanzania, and look at international law, and they will be able to find a way. Of course, we rely more on Tanzanian authorities, find a way as to which way, how are we going to get them into South Africa. But we are confident, I'm sure. Friday, they promise, but as I said, I can't guarantee definitely Friday. But they are working towards a deadline of Friday, but we can't guarantee